Whoa, whoa! Am I live? Am I live right now? Is this thing on? Someone contact me and someone let me know that this is on. Are we happening? Are we? I'm assuming we are. I am currently hotspotting from my phone because since I've moved into this new place, the Wi-Fi has been terrible. Like the worst internet I have had since about 2007. So So yeah, hopefully my phone hotspot will hold up. Uh, yeah, this is my new setup, which you guys can't really see yet. I'm not unhooking the camera to show you around because everything not in the field of view of this camera right now is a mess. Everything that is not in the direct field of view of this camera is a mess. Because there's just cords everywhere because I've got all my gear in here now. I've got all my camera and stuff. I pretty much film here now. So I finally got a new USB dock today to hook stuff up on. But yeah, we are here. I've decided I want to do live streams like this every couple of weeks, I'd say. I'm probably going to do alternating ones between this channel and my other channel, Loverboy Media, which if you have not checked out already, come on guys, get onto it. Last night, while I was asleep, actually, I just set it to upload. I dropped my Fighting with My Family review because I'm now back to reviewing everything and going to pretty much every screening I can. I had dozens of screenings last year that I skipped because I was like, I'm not going to have time to review this movie. I'm probably not going to bother seeing it. So this year, I really want to try to make sure I'm seeing everything that comes my way and actually reviewing it and not just doing the blockbusters because for me at least, the blockbusters I feel like were less of a big thing on this channel a year ago. Like obviously a blockbuster, you're always guaranteed people are going to watch the review, but I think that you guys probably appreciated me reviewing the stuff that you didn't know about a little bit more. Whereas in the last year, it was just blockbusters and obvious Oscar contenders. So it was cool. It's going to be cool to get back into that stuff. So it was great to review Fighting with My Family. Someone's already noticed the La La Land Blu-ray, which is sitting there because I, have a video that I promised everyone on the other channel that I need to get onto. Well, I have been onto it. I was going to save talking about this for the live stream on the Loverboy channel, but yeah, I've now watched it a 5th time since I started the process of making that video. I've done, I think I'm on like the 11th version of the script. I've done 11 versions of the script because it's a really hard video to get right, but it's almost at the stage now where I want to get the La La Land video done and out of the way because the 2 videos I have following it up are like, I can't wait for you guys to find out what I'm doing with that. So yeah, answering your questions, guys, anything that pops up that you think of, throw my way and I'll do my best to answer it. I'm doing all right today so far, put it that way. I'm not an early morning person, so I know this stream probably caters best if you're living in the US. I will try to do one at my nighttime, so like 8 o'clock at night here, which is in the morning in the US, midday in the UK, and obviously at night in Australia. Hopefully that works out better for some people. Okay, so what have we got going on in here? So, the interesting thing, the first stuff that you guys are asking about is I heard there would be free pizza. I wish I could offer that to you. I can't even eat pizza because this is a little known fact I'll throw out here. You guys want to get to know me better. I can't eat cheese and I'm not lactose intolerant. I just can't eat. It makes me sick for some reason. So I live a very, very tragic lifestyle with not being able to eat pizza. So there's something interesting about me that you didn't know and now you wish you probably didn't know. So what else have we got going on? Am I a filmmaker? Yes. I've been off the game a little bit because YouTube takes up all my time. But yes, the long-term goal with my life is to be writing and directing films. Jay and I have been approached with a rather large project that I do want to be working on more than I am. Jay's barely free. Jay's actually going to be back in videos soon, and he's going to be doing some of his own videos as well with just him. So now that we've got this set up where we're living in the same house, Jay and I are now living in the same house with two other guys. One of them, John, who you guys might have seen in the behind the scenes stuff. He's helped me out with all the Loverboy videos so far. And Alan, who is a sound designer. So hopefully I'll have some actual custom channel music soon. But Jay's gonna be back in some videos soon, not necessarily together because our schedules don't really line up, but he's gonna be doing some of his own videos. So he's gonna be back. I lost my train of thought. Yes, filmmaking. I'm going to be back into writing and directing real soon. The only thing I've done for the last 2 years is assistant direct on other people's films. And when I say that, that's still a broad thing because it's more me turning up for a couple of hours, pointing a bunch of stuff out and then going home. So a filmmaker. I'm just... God, questions are coming in fast. I'm trying to keep up. The next Film Hub podcast was actually meant to be right now, but I bailed on everyone and decided to do a video for you guys on this channel on my own. So if you guys haven't actually subscribed to Film Hub yet, go and do it. That's my podcast with High Top Films, Films and Stuff, Houston Productions, Brown Table, and I Am That Robbie. So we've got a podcast together that we want to be doing more regularly and trying to up the production value on. But you guys go and check that out as well because we hang out on there. What else? What have we got? I've seen someone post about Vox Lux. I'm going to be checking that out very soon. I think on Sunday. I missed all my screenings for it, so I'm going to be checking that one out. And I'm quite worried now from everything that I've heard that it's going to end up being my #1 film of 2018. And I'll have to do like a redux of the list. Any of you guys watched that yet? My top 18 video. Go check that one out. I was stoked to finally have that list up. Will Detective Pikachu reach above or below 500 mil? Above. I don't know by much. I don't really think it's going to be as big a deal as people are making it out to be. Like, I think it's going to be good, but I don't know if it's going to be quite as much of a big hit. Have I seen Magnolia yet? No, I have not. Planning on going to Venice this year. Got any tips? Stock up on sleep before you go. I turned up when we went to Venice in 2017. When Jen and I went to Venice, we turned up. I think the night before there was a Conor McGregor fight. I don't know which one it was, but we were in Austria, and we were out till I was out till 7 in the morning, and then we had to catch a flight to Venice and kick off that day. And I started a 2-week film festival on about 2 hours of sleep. So get sleep when you can. Don't worry about rushing out the reviews while you're there. Take the time to see as many films as you can to enjoy the festival. Ever think of doing oh God, it reset and I lost. Okay, ever thought of doing collaboration videos with other YouTubers? I hopefully in the Loverboy video after La La Land, except if another one comes in the way, but I've got a huge one coming out. That hopefully I'm going to be collaborating with High Top, Alex from High Top, and Robbie from I'm That Robbie on. Hopefully they're going to feature in it. So yeah, I do want to actually start collabing with other YouTubers. I've done a fair bit of stuff with other people, but I want to find a way to get other people into my videos. Thoughts on film school? I went for 4 years and I hated it mostly. It depends. Like, Jay is at an acting school right now that is really prestigious. It's where Hugh Jackman went. It's where Dacre Montgomery from Power Rangers and Stranger Things, where he went and he got picked up straight after graduating. So there's places that are good places to go. I'm sure if you were at NYU or what's the LA one? If you were at like a film school, then yeah, probably it'd be worth your time. But I learned more while I was at film school from watching people on YouTube than I did from the classes. There was a point where I was just telling teachers, I was like, hey, I'm not coming to your class if you don't have anything interesting to teach today. And they're like, wow, that's rude. And I'm like, so is me paying what I'm paying and you're not fucking teaching me anything. So there's that. Yeah, so film school, it depends on what you need. I think if you need a structured learning environment, then yeah, it's probably a good thing, but it's a lot of money for stuff that you can learn just from watching films. And I'm not talking just watching a movie and going, oh yeah, I like that, or I didn't like that. It's a case of you need to engage with the movies that you're watching. You need to be proactive about your learning experience. You need to go out and make stuff. It doesn't matter what budget, because the problem is, like when I was in film school, I was making stuff in super high budget off my own back, and I didn't have the basics of storytelling down. And that's stuff that I learned after that from people on YouTube. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that, you know, come to me for your film education, but I'm not a bad place to start. And there's a lot of other people on YouTube that you will really actively teach you the important stuff, storytelling. And to be honest, some universities don't even teach you the technical stuff. I left uni without even properly knowing cinematography or sound editing, or I had to teach myself all that stuff from YouTube tutorials. So there's that. Are there any shows from your I'm sorry, guys. I'm like so far behind right now, but I want to make sure I'm catching up with questions as they pop up. And I feel like, did High Top turn up in The Lone Chemist? Hey, boys. How are we? Favorite Nolan film, and why is it The Prestige? I'm not going to argue with that, Alex. I mean, it's not my favorite, but The Prestige is an 11 out of 10 movie. Any shows from your childhood that you still hold in high regard and still watch now? I was talking about this with someone the other day, and I've currently blanked on all of them. Shows from my childhood. The Wiggles. That shit is fire. I can't think of anything on that right now. What kind of movies do I want to make? Good movies, hopefully. It's a broad question. I don't really have anything that I know that I want to make. I've got stories, but they're all eclectic. There's no particular style. I'd love to do an action movie, love to do a sci-fi movie, love to do introspective dramas, love to do a musical biopic on Kanye West. I'd love, you know, there's a bunch of stuff. Who's my favorite cinematographer? Without a doubt. Oh, actually, I was going to say that it's between Chivo, like Emmanuel Lubezki, and Adam Arkapour, who is known for True Detective Season 1 and Macbeth. His style is just... What are my PC specs? I've maxed out... I use a laptop. That's all I've got right now is a laptop, because I used to live between several different locations. And now that I'm in one, I'm like, wish I had a desktop. But my laptop is basically maxed out. It would cost me like $4,500. I've pumped everything in there I can. So much so that it overheats all the time because it's got too much power in it. So for like its ventilation system. So yeah, it's good, like a good system that I'm working on. What do I think about the recent Oscar results? You can check out my video on the Oscars. I did a full video on the Oscars. You can check that out. I'm trying to improve my film reviews. Can I send one I wrote about Roma? If you link it to me on Twitter, or if you tag me on stuff on Twitter, I'll check it out. Yeah. Have you heard the new James Blake album? The new James Blake album, if I hear a better album this year, my mind will melt. That James Blake album is probably already my top 10 favorite albums ever. I love it so much. I'm trying so hard to keep up with everything. Malcolm Adderley has the funniest comments, man. They're so confusing. I love you. I love this guy. Hair game is on point. That's good to hear, because it's very early in the morning. How's Jay's acting career going? Great. Hopefully he's going to give you guys an update soon. But he's like ascended, man. It's like talking to a different person now. It's honestly, the course he's doing is fantastic. Thoughts on Lord of the Rings? Incredible. If I had the skill level, I'd love to do a 3-part thing on each of the Lord of the Rings movies. But I currently... You know, I don't know what to say about them, and that's the thing I'm trying to focus on now. Is if I'm going to talk about a movie, I want to make sure I've got something interesting to say, and not just, oh, I love this thing. I've got to be able to come to more of a point than that. And I don't know if I could do that with Lord of the Rings yet. Digital or celluloid, I don't think it matters. I think IMAX matters, and I think certain people use a film look. So Nolan has a very specific film look. When you look at his films, they all have this really beautiful texture. Even more so since Interstellar and Dunkirk they've just got this, and you're like, that's film. You're not going to get that look with digital. I love 16 mil. You know, I don't really mind. Obviously, you've got Blade Runner, and you know, there's different, whatever works for the cinematographer. What is the best film you would never watch again? I don't think I ever have that. I always want to rewatch movies. So yeah, I don't think I'd ever have a favorite Mexican film. I'm now having a blank because I feel like I don't think I've watched many films in the Mexican language yet. And I don't think Pan's Labyrinth counts. So I'm actually pulling a blank on that right now. Probably Neruda. I love Neruda, man, from 2016. Pablo Larraín. It's a great movie. I'm so far behind. I'm trying to keep up. Mexican, like, yeah, I mean Spanish, but the question was Mexican films, so my bad. Let me just hang on. I'm just trying to catch up with where we are. Mid-90s is on my watch list. Yes, I was supposed to see it, but I haven't yet. There's so much stuff from last year that I missed. I still haven't seen 8th Grade. That's why it wasn't on my list. Which horror of 2018 do you feel manifested your every desire or yearning for a piece? Horror film from 2018. I'm trying to think now because I feel like there was Annihilation. Annihilation counts as a horror film. It's obviously going to be Annihilation. Yeah, so TAFE is a good place for film because it's hands-on work. You want to, when you're doing a film, when you're studying film, you want to be doing as much hands-on work as possible. If you are doing a course at university for film, and you can structure, you know, if I don't know how it works in America or around the world, but here we get to pick what order we do stuff in. So what my recommendation is, pack all of the production units or the production classes into the earlier part of your degree, do all of those, and then drop out. Get all of that film stuff, get all the hands-on stuff with gear, be able to make films, and then drop out once you've got all that. That's my recommendation. That's what I wish I'd done. I did that, and then I hung around doing theory stuff for ages, and I should have left. Real talk, what's a movie that you've seen recently that hasn't aged well, particularly in the last 5 to 7 years? Green Book didn't age well. I like that movie. I was thinking about reviewing it, but then I was like, nah, people seem to be mad if you don't like it. I like it. I just think it's a confused movie, man. It's so confused about what it's doing, or at least I thought it was confused. Any chance Damien Chazelle becomes your favorite director? Maybe. It'd be really hard to top Cuarón. There's a lot of dogs next door. Do I prefer Shallow or City of Stars? City of Stars, but the Shallow scene is phenomenal. Obviously, anyone who watched my 5 perfect scenes video. Have I seen Thunder Road yet? No, I need to see it. What is your favorite Ingmar? I don't think I've seen any of them. I do need to catch up on. I've got. You should see now that I've moved in with these other guys. There's so many Blu-rays there that I need to watch. But I've been out of home, so I'm like, I can finally catch up on playing games. So I've been doing that a little bit. Favorite Nolan movie is easily Dunkirk. It's my 3rd favorite film ever. I'm stunned by Dunkirk. It's incredible. I haven't seen Y Tu Mamá También yet. I really need to. But because there's certain movies that I like hype myself up so much to watch. That's one where it's like, it's a Cuarón film I haven't seen yet. Oh, I need to, and I really hype myself up. So I'll get onto it eventually. Best Australian film. I have one. I can't think of what it is now. Hounds of Love is one of my favorite Australian films, really recent. A film that you think is really great but you don't like. Here's the thing. I'm going to do a video on it coming up. But recently I lost the ability to do, you know how like I used to talk about, you know, like objectively the film's really good, but I don't like it. I don't believe in that shit anymore. Because even to say something is objectively good, we've been taught what was good through subjective means. So there's no objective good or bad. You can check out Just Right, just posted a great video on it. It's definitely worth checking out. So no, I don't think there's any films that are, if I don't like it, I probably also don't think it's a great movie. Because for me, I feel like I've taught myself now to see when something is the way we perceive cinema as being good. I don't know if that makes sense. But I like most movies now, as you may have noticed. I really like most movies. There's really very little that I don't like. I saw Searching. I love Searching. Have I been to Canada? I really want to go to Canada. My plan was to go to TIFF last year, but I'll have to go next year. Have I seen Skate Kitchen? I loved Skate Kitchen. It was fantastic. Wish I could have reviewed it. We filmed a review. Actually, no, we did review it, and then I took the review down because there was a bunch of them that were just really crap quality, and I didn't want to leave them up. Is there a movie you could watch 100 times and not get sick of? Yes, The Cat in the Hat. You have a cool beard. Thank you. I have been working on, I wanted a beard my whole life. So I find the fact I can finally pop a semi-decent one out now is fantastic. Blanchett or Streep. I'm a Blanchett fan. Neither of them is better than the other, but I'm a Blanchett fan. What film uses shaky cam better in your opinion? Saving Private Ryan or First Man? There's no way that one of them can use it better. That you can't have one film using it better than that. But I don't know. They both, Saving Private Ryan is just fun. They're both doing it for different reasons in different ways. So both perfect use of shaky cam. Can we ever convince you to review a romantic comedy? I've done tons of romantic comedy reviews. I might have taken a lot of them down off the channel recently because I went and wiped out a bunch of our really shitty reviews or stuff where we were rude to filmmakers. I don't want to do that anymore. That's why you might have noticed I've lost a lot of energy from reviews, is because I don't get mad about stuff anymore, and there's a lot of, in YouTube, there's a lot of bullying of filmmakers, just outright being nasty and rude to them, and I don't have time for that anymore. I'm so mad that I ever fell to that level, because it's entertaining, ripping on M. Night Shyamalan or directors like that. I'm like, these guys put so much into their art, and I can't be rude and take that away from them. So that's important. Understanding the business of filmmaking, very important, because that also influences my reviews as well and how I will treat a film. Obviously, it's a lot easier to be mad at a movie when the business practices behind it were terrible. Like Justice League, for instance, is a movie I can always hate. I could find some good in it if I wanted to, but everything about what was done with that movie I hate, mainly because of the business practices. How did you find your first job in film? I made it myself. That's how you do it. As a writer and director, you don't really have a lot of options to get. It takes a long time before people come to you. Yeah, the first work I've had doing film was basically through people I knew. It's so important if you're doing film to be confident and putting yourself out there. And that's what everyone says. And it's a lot easier said than done if you're someone, I know a lot of people have a lot of anxiety about that stuff. I have my own things with, being nervous about stuff. We all do. But it's a case of, you overhear, you're in a line somewhere for something. I'll be at a screening, and the amount of people I've met from just overhearing a conversation and jumping in, and they're talking about a movie, and I'm like, oh no, they're like talking about it being crap, and I'm like, oh no, I love that movie. And then you get a conversation going, then it's like, hi, I'm Bailey. You introduce yourself, and then you've got that's how I met most of the people I do screenings, like Universal and all the other distributors, was meeting them at other screenings and just introducing myself and being like, hey, how you doing? And now I'm on their mailing list. Oh God, there's so many questions I'm trying to keep up. Do you watch any anime or have any opinions about it? Look, I was one of those people who used to be like, oh, anime. Why? Why would I be like that? No, I recently just watched Your Name, and I love that. I love that movie. That movie was phenomenal. So I'm going to try to catch up on some other stuff. I'm a really big fan of Miyazaki's stuff. Spirited Away is one of my favorite movies ever. So I do need to catch up on more. But in terms of anime series, this is the thing that blows my mind, especially when I'm like on Twitter and, which reminds me, I should probably check. No, I see people who are watching like 3-4 movies a day. And I'm like, where the fuck do you get the time? I get time. I watch like 20 minutes of TV a day. And even in the last 2 days, I haven't watched anything because I'm just working on videos all the time. It cuts out so much of the time that you guys get to spend watching movies. I am lucky to watch, 100 movies in a year. So I do my best. Let's have a look. Oh God, there's so many things popped up. Are you looking forward to the new Watchmen series? Yeah, out of everything this year, the thing I'm looking forward to the most is the Watchmen series. I need to watch the movie. I'm going to be watching it soon, the director's cut. But yeah, a new Lindelof show, the Leftovers team doing the Watchmen show. Everyone's going to hate it except for the Leftovers fans, as far as I know. So yeah, of course I'm keen for that. As far as learning about film, have I read many books? I don't think I've read a book since high school. which is embarrassing. But like that's the thing. It's the trade-off of like I'm so. This is why you guys follow me on Twitter, because I'm so engaged with the Twitter community and the film community and being engaged with people online that it just cuts out. You know, I don't really get a chance to sit down and read because it's time I need to be working on another video. I can't read and do other shit at the same time. And I, you know, like if I'm cooking, I'll watch a YouTube video or listen to music because I don't really have to pay all that much attention. But reading, you do. With an audio book, I'll zone out. So that option's off the table. Which should you watch first out of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings and then The Hobbit. Yeah, don't watch The Hobbit first. Don't do that. Thoughts on the Academy coming to... oh, well, good. Glad they got around to it. You guys watched my Oscars video. I talked about all this stuff. Can you recommend more Australian films? Yeah, I've got to see more Australian films. The thing is, this is the important thing to note, is that I do want to be posting 4 to 5 videos on this channel a week, but this is no longer my main channel. Like, if I'm being honest, this is not my main channel anymore. This is... I don't really know what Breaking Banter is, and we're finding out as we go along. But my main channel is now Loverboy Media. That's the content I've always wanted to make. I don't want to just be flooding like with so many videos on here that I can't keep up. I want to make sure my content's still targeted, focused. I'm making the stuff that I need to make. God, I'm just trying to keep up with comments. I lost where I was up to. Has TLJ got better or worse? I saw that. Do you enjoy TLJ more or less since I first saw it? So I enjoy it more. It's my favorite Star Wars film. Between that and what's the other one? Empire Strikes Back. It's between those two. I love Last Jedi, but like it's like the things that annoy me have become more annoying. So it's a case of like after a while, because I've seen it 8 times now, it's a case of like removing that and finding the way that it works, like the way Rian Johnson saw it. So certain stuff in The Last Jedi that still bothers me. Like I get Luke wanting to kill Kylo, but the way that was done needed more time. So it wasn't this weird miscommunication thing. I love the parallel between that and Empire, Return of the Jedi, with, you know, raising the lightsaber and then having that moment of regret. And I totally believe it's in his character to do that, to think, yeah, I'll end it now, but they just needed to handle it in a different way. So there's not as many questions about it. There was other ways to handle it. So stuff like that annoys me more, but after a while I'm like, it works. I don't need to keep digging into it. So yeah, there's that. I mentioned The Last Jedi, now people are mad. Okay, I'm just trying to keep up with. Thoughts on James Mangold as a director? He's super inconsistent. His Ford versus Ferrari movie, is that the one that's coming out this year? I'm interested to see it. I don't really know. Yeah, it's a bit inconsistent, so there's that. Am I wrong for disliking Kurosawa? No, that's totally in your right. It's totally in your right to dislike anyone. You know what I mean? I think it's a waste sometimes with some filmmakers and films. Because like that's the thing that I don't think many people understand is you can teach yourself to like anything. It's a case of a lot of people, you want to try break it down. The younger you are when you can break it down, the better. And I'm glad I've already gone through this phase. I'm out on the other side of it. But there's a point where like when I was in high school, I was what you'd call a very opinionated person, right? And people think I am now. I'm not now. I was a very opinionated person. I'd have all these wild opinions on stuff and, you know, like stuff I'm cool bring it. Like, so I'm not a religious person, right? But in high school, I was very like one of those aggressively, like nastily atheist person. I went to a Christian school and I'd always push that on other people. I'm like, oh, I can't believe. And whereas now I've got so much respect for, you know, whatever people believe in, that's amazing. I'm so fascinated by all these different religions and stuff. And it was the same with movies, you know, and, you know, just trying to be like, oh, as if you fucking like that movie, rah, rah, rah. And there's a point where you can learn to break that down and remove your own opinion from stuff and really try to see a movie for what it's trying to do and what it's trying to be. And you can really teach yourself to like anything. So when I watched Seven Samurai, right, getting back to Kurosawa, I was like, this is really long. It's kind of boring, but I love it. Like I fully respect everything about it. I'm fascinated by the movie, but I'm not necessarily entertained by it. So I think that there's ways you can't help that personal preference hurdle of like, maybe I'm predisposed to You might be predisposed to action movies or sci-fi or whatever. I've obviously got a predisposition to sci-fi. I love good sci-fi. But yeah, you can teach yourself to like any movie. I'm going to do, as I've already mentioned, on the Loverboy channel, at some point, I'm going to do a Cat in the Hat video. I think a lot of people are expecting that to be a full meme video, and it will be. It'll be all meme. But I'm going to find a way to convince everyone that it's a great movie and prove to you that that can be done. So there's that. God, there's so many comments. I'm trying to keep up, guys. Hi, Top. What's a movie you hated at first, the first time you watched, but you love it now? There's not many that I hated and turned around and loved, because if I hated it, it probably had no semblance of really being BVS, maybe? That movie's Batman vs Superman's still super flawed, but I kind of love it now. I've just got so much respect for Zack Snyder, so that might be one. There's other movies like Mr. Turner, which is a Mike Lee movie. The first time Jay and I watched it, we were like, holy fuck, I can't handle this. And now, like, it's amazing. We were just like, it's boring, therefore it's not good. And I'm like, that's not how it works. Thoughts on how toxic the fan community has become lately? I'm going to do a video on that at some point, but it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Like, I don't enjoy talking about Star Wars anymore. It fucking drains me. As soon as I see someone bring up Star Wars, I'm like, oh, fuck no. Even if they love it, I'm like, I'm spent. And it was because nothing to do with my love for Star Wars hasn't waned. I can still talk about The Last Jedi all the time, but it's just always that thing of like, it's such a combative thing. And that's what I'm saying about like people being so obsessed with their own opinions. And you can literally see when you're talking to someone and they're like hot. And it's like, I forget, there's a lot of people, like I'm only 22. I'm nearly 23, but I'm only 22. There's a lot of there's still like an age gap between people that are, 15, 16, 17, where there's a lot of experience in there that we don't have yet. And a lot of people were in that phase, like when I was 17, being super aggressively angry about opinions and feeling this sense of like rage empowerment when you're throwing down your hot take. That's why I'm so like anti-hot takes. I don't want to see tweets saying like hot take, blah, 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 because it's like hot take is like a trigger word to be like, look, get your rage ready. And people are so combative about their opinions. So it's made talking about film in general a really unpleasant thing, because I could tweet out now and say, I love The Dark Knight. And someone will pop up and say, oh, fuck The Dark Knight, or I don't like The Dark Knight. I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm tweeting about how much I love it. Put your own tweet out about how much you hate it, or you know what I mean? Like there's this need because we can all connect with each other so easily, there's a need to constantly validate ourselves through other people. And I think that that's what's happened with film discourse, is this need for like, here's my opinion on things, and you want to be heard, and to be heard, your opinion has to be loud and controversial. I don't know, it's a rabbit hole. It is a really deep rabbit hole. If you're a soup, what kind of soup would you be? That's the best question I've got so far. God, now you got me craving like a good pea and ham soup right now. Maybe that. Have you watched Star Wars Always on YouTube? It's basically a 5-minute montage. Is that the one that Star Wars Always is the thing that Topher Grace edited? I haven't watched it yet. I think that's the one. What did you think of Private Life? I haven't seen Private Life yet. Thoughts on June 2020? Currently, I think there's a Nolan film next year, so June will be number 1 or 2 on my most anticipated list. Hard for it not to be. Am I from Melbourne? No, I'm from Perth. I'm West Australian. Most isolated city in the world. I need to see Akira. I haven't seen Never Going Back yet. Best way to learn to do great camera work. Film people. The face is the first thing you need to learn. It was the last thing I learned. The first thing I learned, I taught myself blocking and all this like super theatrical composition, and teach yourself faces first. Close-ups and faces, because you can tell a story in that. You cannot tell a story all in wides. Or at least you shouldn't anymore, because we have the ability not to. God, I'm so overwhelmed. Imagine having 100,000 subscribers and trying to keep up with the questions. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to check. Have I seen the Hereditary trailers? Yeah, I've seen the Hereditary trailers. Um, do I think June is going to fail financially? Hell yeah. But I think it's going to be fucking awesome. So, have there been any films you've reviewed on your channel that I think I was too hard on? No, but there was films I was an asshole about. There was a lot of films where I was just a nasty fucking person because Jay and I got in this like real violent. I keep coming back to that, but yeah, there's a lot of films that I wish I'd handled differently. The film I was the meanest to, and I still can't stand the film, The Visit by M. Night Shyamalan. That video was just, I'm pretty sure I've deleted it now because it was just 10 minutes of bullying M. Night and it's disgusting. I can't, that's why like people watch Mauler and guys like Mauler and Grace Randolph. And I'm like, I can't, these people are so nasty to filmmakers. They've got no understanding of what goes into it. I can't watch them. I don't know about you guys, but I can't watch people like that. Do you believe the way the Oscar system works counts as rigged? What, with campaigning or with the preferential ballot? I think the whole Oscar system is wrong. But you know, there's no other way. There's no other way that I can see it working if there was no campaigning. There has to be campaigning. It's like a presidential bid. That's why after a while, Oscar predictions aren't fun because you just see who spent the most on the campaign. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to catch up with everything. We all still doing all good? We all good? Already been doing this for nearly 40 minutes. This is fantastic. Sorry, guys. Now there's people getting mad. I didn't answer all their questions. I'm just trying to... Do you have faith in JJ fixing the issues to The Last Jedi? If the next Star Wars movie doesn't hit every right note, I'll be very surprised because I feel like it's not going to fix anything because there's nothing really wrong with The Last Jedi. But I think it's going to give the right combination of fan-driven action and continuation of these fantastic story threads that have been set up. You know, with this anyone can be a Jedi. It's funny, Into the Spider-Verse was praised for its... Did I just disconnect? Oh, I thought I disconnected for a second. Yikes. Am I still on? What shows am I currently watching on Netflix? The Good Place. I just finished watching Maniac. Yeah, I just finished watching Maniac. I'm watching The Good Place right now, season 3. But my internet here, unless I'm using a Wi-Fi hotspot, I can't get higher than 480p. So I might stay off that one for a while until I've got better internet. Sorry, what's your take? Have you seen any Jodorowsky? I don't know how to pronounce that. I know who it is. No, I haven't. I'm currently working through Kurosawa's stuff and the stuff by Tarkovsky. But there's a lot more foreign stuff I need to check out. So I've got a lot to get through. Okay. Can you give us a sneak peek at any Loverboy Media content that you're working on? Well, I'll throw it out here now. I'm trying to do an Assassin's Creed 2 video before the remaster of Assassin's Creed 3 drops this month. So I've been replaying Assassin's Creed 2 to do a video on why it's the best thing Ubisoft's ever done. It's not my favorite Ubisoft game. But I think that, you know, I wanted to do a video on it. I've wanted to do a Loverboy video on a game for a long time. And I thought that might be the perfect place to start because I really, really love that game. So there'll be that. How many films from 2018 do you think will end up on your top 100? I'm going to update that list on Letterboxd and post it on Twitter soon. I think it's about 5 might have ended up on my all-time list. It's scary because I'm only 22, and at some point I'm going to be 60, and there'll be like 10 films from now are probably still on my top 100 list. That's crazy that these movies that have had such a big impact on my life won't be on the list anymore. So there's that. What do you think of the Umbrella Academy? I'm not going to watch it. It's not my thing, but like, it's probably a bad thing, but when I watch TV, I'm so focused on either who has made it or what the reviews are at. It's so hard for me to get time to watch TV that, you know, it has to have outstanding reviews to catch my attention for TV. I haven't seen Alita Battle Angel. I don't think I'm going to go around to checking it out. But I had heard fun reports from my other filmmaker friends who said they really liked it. Some of them saw it twice. Billy Magnuson in Bond 25. Hell yes. Billy Magnuson in everything. Billy Magnuson as, is it Johnny Storm? Is he the Human Torch? Yeah, when they do Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four right now, all right? Fantastic Four. John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, Billy Magnuson, and then someone else. I'm going to sneeze in a second. Ugh. Okay, still going to sneeze. Am I going to do a Why I Love episode on Carol? Hopefully. I'd love to do like I want to start doing shorter episodes as well in between. So I don't end up saying the same stuff over and over about. So yeah, I'd love to do a video on Carol. Have I seen Atlanta? I've seen season 1. I'm waiting for season 2 to become available here so I can check it out. I've never played Chrono Trigger. No, I've heard fantastic things. One director to direct their last film ever. Is that what the question is? With an unlimited budget? Is their last? I don't know. I'd probably pick someone I don't like so I can get more films from the people I do like. What is the 29 film that you expect to be screened and compete in Cannes? Ad Astra, maybe. And the new film from Justin Kurzel, The True Story of the Kelly Gang or something. That one's probably going to pop up. Maybe Midsummer. Any advice for reviewing films? Respect the movies. So yeah, my number 1 advice for reviewing movies that will make your reviews better. This is just for everyone who does letterbox reviews, anything. Your opinion on a film is never worth more than the film itself. That is my biggest piece of advice. That is what I've been living by lately. My 6-minute video is not worth more than 2 years of hard work from the people who made the film. I don't care what film it is. A level of respect you've got to have. As much fun as it is to trash on the Emoji Movie or the 50 Shades movies, people who have wanted to do film their whole life, who are just trying to get money to survive, have worked on those films. Do I personally think they could have been much better movies? Hell yeah. But there still has to be a level of respect we have for the fact that that people have put their hard work, and at least one person on that movie was really happy with what they were doing. You know what I mean? I do want to check out Paddleton on Netflix. I'm going to try to do that. Malcolm Adderley's still dropping the weirdest comments ever. I love it. Best movie by a bad director. I don't think there's necessarily bad directors. There's misguided directors. I don't think there's bad directors. Best movie by a bad director. I don't know. Have I seen Wings of Desire? No, I haven't. What's my favorite game ever? The Witcher 3. That is like, once I'm super confident with the Why I Love format, once I have more subscribers on that channel, because there's a lot of topics I want to do, but I don't want to blow them when there's not many people watching the show. You know what I mean? I'd love to do a video on gravity, but I don't want to blow that when I don't think it's going to get many views. I'd rather do it once I've got a base. So I'd love to do the pinnacle videos on the Loverboy channel that I want to do at some point are a video on gravity, a video on The Leftovers, and a video on The Witcher 3. But I don't want to do those until I'm confident that there's going to be enough people to watch them to make it worth the investment. So thoughts on separating art from artist. I don't have any problems with it while I'm watching it. So I can watch Baby Driver. I can watch House of Cards. Kevin Spacey's still a piece of shit. You know what I mean? So I can still watch it, and it's always in the back of my head that I'm like, this person's real filthy. But I can still watch their movies. I won't support new work they've done, but I can still watch old stuff. Like, I can't imagine myself not watching Seven again. Seven's one of my favorite movies of all time. I can't imagine myself not watching that movie again. It does help that Kevin Spacey is a piece of shit in that movie as well, but you know. Have I seen Jordan Peele's Us yet? No, I think it's about 2 weeks I'll get to see it. I'm seeing Captain Marvel next week. Get out of here, Dan. Dan Rochford. Get out of here. Am I going to make any short films soon? I do want to post some of my short films from the last couple of years on YouTube at some point. I'll do that soon. What's the oldest film you've seen? I had it written down somewhere, something from 1925 4 or something. It might be Metropolis. No, I don't think it's Metropolis. There's some stuff from the 1920s that I've seen. Yeah, so there's that. Thoughts on Cast and Runquist? So here's the thing that you guys might not know if you don't have us on Twitter, have me on Twitter, is I basically have a group chat with like 30 other YouTubers. I feel like that's a YouTube secret I can't give away, but so I talk to YouTubers that I'm a huge fan of, like Patrick Willems, Sage from Just Right, obviously High Top, Brown Table, all those guys. Like I talk to them all the time. Carsten's someone I talk to all the like regularly. I say all the time, but it's regularly. He's a great guy. He's fantastic. I love him. I love his videos as well. He's tapped into a unique style. Carsten and 24 Frames of Nick are two guys that I really love. They've tapped into something very unique, like this spot they seem to have just owned, where they get to just be them. And they almost don't have to worry too much about analyzing stuff. They can just inject a film with their own personality. And I love their content. It's fantastic. I'm excited for Robert Eggers' new movie. Yeah, I am. It should have been on my most anticipated list, but it was kind of just outside. I really liked The Witch, but it was like, it's one of those movies where I loved, but I wasn't like fully engaged by it. I was more kind of stunned by the filmmaking than the pacing and the story. So I'm interested to see what he does next, for sure. Do I like Chris Stuckman? Yeah, here's the thing. Let me put out a controversial opinion maybe. I was been watching Jeremy Jahns and Chris Stuckman for the same amount of time, but just recently I unsubbed from Jeremy Jahns, not because, you know, like I love the guy, is a really cool guy. He's got this great energy. He's, you know, the OG. He's the one who everyone's taken some form of influence from, but something about Chris Stuckman is, I find him so much more authentic and compassionate, and you can see it recently since he's joined a film school. He has he's really changed the way he reviews as well. It feels like a similar trajectory to me, except he's famous as fuck. So that's been interesting, is watching him kind of grow and learn and get this more respect for film. So I'm more of a Chris Stuckman fan for sure. In terms of actual film reviewers, Matt from Film Brain and Chris Hartwell are probably two of my favorite film reviewers. Chris Hartwell in particular is really fantastic. You should really check out his reviews. So guys, check out Chris Hartwell. His reviews are fantastic. He's just that level of empathy and compassion for movies that you want to see, and also a really rich understanding, a really fantastic delivery. His videos are great. So I'm kind of promoting him right now, but yeah, I'm really a big fan of Chris Hartwell. The Heartbeat is his show. Check it out. Have I walked out of a film? I've talked about this at length before as being one of the most embarrassing things I've ever done, but I saw it with a bunch of friends, but I walked out of Where the Wild Things Are. And I was like 14 at the time. I was with a bunch of girls and like all the other boys, and they're like, "Oh, this film's boring, let's leave." And we walked out of Where the Wild Things Are. And I've since watched it. It's phenomenal. But obviously me back then was in the phase where Taken was the best movie ever. So, you know, of course I'm gonna bitch out in a movie like Where the Wild Things Are. Have I watched season 3 of Fargo? Yes, I have. I want to do a Why I Love on Fargo season 3. Fargo season 3. If you guys aren't watching Fargo, get onto it. Each season's a different story. Season 3 was phenomenal. One of the best villains of all time, David Thewlis's, what's it? Varga? Can't remember his full name. But yeah, the villain that he plays in that show is phenomenal. Carrie Coon is incredible in it. The third episode of Fargo season 3 is one of the best episodes of TV ever made. It uses some animation stuff in there that was just blew my mind. I'm just trying to catch up on stuff. Am I a fan of John Campier? Not really. He's really inconsistent, I find. Yeah, John Campier, I used to watch a little bit. Jay watched him a lot more than I did. But Favorite YouTuber right now, I'll throw it out. But my two favorite YouTubers pretty much at the moment, I've actually got a couple. So like obviously with the Loverboy channel, my two biggest influences, which I feel like are quite obvious, are Movies with Mikey and Patrick Willems, my two biggest influences. My favorite YouTuber right now is High Top Films. Everything Alex posts is just I'm just stunned. And he makes those videos so fast. He's incredible. If you watch The Dark Knight for the first time again, would you feel differently about it after so much? No. If I saw The Dark Knight now, if it came out now, we would collectively. We thought it was a big deal 10 years ago. We'd be fucking losing our shit if it came out right now. It's fucked. Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man 2. That's the other thing. So I'm trying to cook up doing a Spider-Man 2 video at some point, but it's one of those things where it's like, I feel I'm going to do a Spider-Man 2 video. It could be quite popular. It could be a really good video. Then I might want to go back and do Spider-Man 1. But if you've already done the sequel, you've used a lot of the space that you use in the first one. So I'll just wait to see how I go, audience-wise, and I might do Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 in separate videos. I'd really love to, at some point, do I want to go back and redo my Azkaban video, but I want to do all 8 Harry Potter movies. So that might be an undertaking I do down the track. 2019 films that I'm looking forward to the most right now. I've already forgotten what was on the top of our most anticipated list. Obviously, Episode 9, Star Wars Episode 9. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Lucy in the Sky. The first film from Noah Hawley, who is the mastermind behind Fargo and Legion. He's got his directorial debut with Natalie Portman again. If you guys haven't figured it out, I am a huge Natalie Portman fan. So yeah, I'm around that. Do I believe that Justin Theroux should be given more lead actor opportunities? Yeah, if any of you guys saw Maniac, Jay and I were talking about this. In Maniac, Justin Theroux, when an actor's making their choice for a scene, right, for what they're going to do, Justin Theroux in Maniac goes like 20 choices down the line and then did that. It's the weirdest performance I've ever seen. He's such a brave and compelling actor. I wish he was getting more stuff as a leading man. I really think $100 for the first 2 seasons of Fargo would be a worthwhile price. That's how good they are. Get those at all costs. Why do you like Gravity so much about Gravity compared to Children of Men? Again, when I do a video on it, you guys will see. But the thing that I love so much about Gravity is that Gravity is film, as far as I'm concerned. Like it's the peak of everything the cinematic medium is, of sound, of direction, of visual effects, of performance, of story, of metaphor. It feels like the peak of everything. Plus, like if you watch Gravity in a dark cinema in 3D, you are literally in the movie. You are inside the movie because it's blackout. It feels like you're in space. It's phenomenal. I could go on about that movie forever. Do I think the worldwide box office of Avatar can ever be topped? Yeah, it has been topped because does this annoy anyone else that when we talk about the highest grossing films of all time, we don't automatically adjust for inflation? Because Gone with the Wind is still the highest grossing film of all time, and it's not Avatar. And obviously inflation is a thing. So yeah, obviously at some point we're going to have films that gross higher because inflation will be a thing. A film that probably makes less than Avatar, when adjusted for inflation, will make more unadjusted. So that's something that's always annoyed me. Always annoyed me is that we don't adjust for inflation. No, like Avatar's not the highest grossing film of all time. The original Star Wars grossed more than it. So that's it. Sorry, a bunch of questions coming in real quick again. So I'm just going to try to best actor or actress to never win an Oscar. Well, Peter O'Toole, probably. Amy Adams is the one right now. How is Amy Adams not? I mean, I love Emma Stone, but how did Amy Adams not even get nominated for Arrival? She had to invent new emotions. How did she not win? Okay, I got distracted for a second thinking about how much I love Arrival. Do you think Disney buying Fox is bad for the movie industry? Hell yeah, because Fox Searchlight has been producing some of the best movies of the last 10 years. Obviously, they're responsible for, I'm going to forget off the top of my head, but I feel like Shape of Water, Birdman, I just mentioned two films that people hate. But they've produced a lot of really important indie cinema, so I'd hate to see them lose that. So hopefully they don't. Well, next year's Oscars, oh God, I don't want to think about next year's Oscars. I wasn't even going to watch the Oscars this year, but I hosted a live event, so I had to. But I don't care about the Oscars anymore. Do I think next year? No, we don't know. It'll be a film that pops up without anyone realizing. There'll be a film that pops up late. I don't want to make predictions. I was like, Widows will destroy the Oscars next year, and then no one saw Widows, and it didn't happen. So, when did you realize that trailers ruin your experience of seeing a movie? It might have been with The Revenant, because I only watched the first trailer for The Revenant, which is the one that doesn't spoil anything. But then I think after seeing The Revenant, I went back and watched the trailer, like while I was editing the review, I went back and watched the trailer for the second trailer for The Revenant, and it spoils the first hour of the movie. And I was like, I went into that movie having no fucking idea what was happening next. And it spoiled not only so much in terms of story, which is what I've explained over and over again. I don't think people get how this works. So obviously there's a lot of trailers that spoil a lot of the story, right? They spoil, you know, sometimes when I watch a movie, I don't even want to know the conceit. If I could have gone into Widows without knowing what the conceit of the story was, it would have blown my mind. But the thing is that when you see an image, so I think that The Force Awakens was another one, because the second trailer, I didn't watch the trailer, the second trailer, like the main trailer, but I saw it playing on a TV screen in a cinema, and I think there was a shot of outside Maz's castle, and it was a green location. And I hadn't seen that yet in the other trailers, the two teasers that I did watch. And so the whole time I'm watching the movie, I know that they're going to a location that is green at some point. And so my brain, which is always going to be more alert than I guess most people's is, because I have to review the film afterwards. I have to try to take in as much as I can to be able to accurately talk about the movie. I'm aware the whole time that there's shit I haven't seen. There's that shot coming up. If I haven't seen it yet, I start to work out the context of it. That's basically why. If that makes sense. I'll probably do another video on it again soon. But that's the thing, is that my brain can't forget images I've seen. Like, I wish I hadn't watched the trailer for Us, because I watched it up until it shows the actual conceit of the movie. And then I was like, oh, fuck, I wish I hadn't watched that. So I think Us is going to be great. Someone asked that before. What genre do you want Nolan to tackle in his 2020 film? Well, I wanted him to do horror, but it's not horror. There's no way it's going to be horror. Yeah, there's no way it's going to be horror. Favorite Villeneuve film is Arrival. But every film he's made that I've seen is incredible. If you guys haven't seen In Sundays, check it out. It's his 2009 film. That's in French. It's a Canadian film. That movie is incredible. Check it out. Thoughts on Mother? Yeah, I still love it. I was at the world premiere of it. It was amazing. What do I think about JK retconning and adding to the HP lore? It's a terrible idea. Anything new that she said that is not within the books, I ignore. More than happy to buy Dumbledore as being gay. I don't think the sexuality or characters having a love interest for every character is an important thing. That's why, and I hope they don't do it with the next Star Wars, episode 9, is I like the fact there's no real romantic relationships. I like that. So many of the films that we watched that are blockbusters I think Star Wars has earned, this trilogy has earned having a romantic relationship between any number of characters. But I think it's really important that we stop having so much. Why is it so important? Like, as I said, I'm all for, LGBTQ films. Obviously, most of my favorite films every year are queer cinema. But that stuff's fine. You represent as many, diversify have all that in there. But I think in terms of relationships, romantic relationships in films, we don't need them in every blockbuster. It feels so tacked on sometimes. Nolan Dean has just said, I don't think it's queer baiting. Why would Dumbledore ever need to talk about his romantic relationships, I guess? You know, that's true. He doesn't need to. Some characters don't need to be romantically linked. It's a fan thing. Fans love romantically linking characters in big franchises, and it doesn't matter 95% of the time. Sometimes just friendship's what matters. No wonder so many people are depressed they aren't in relationships, because every movie we watch tells us that that's all that, like, love is all that matters. And yeah, it is. I guess in a lot of movies, love is all that matters, but there's different types of love. It's not all romantic relationships. Anyway, least favorite Oscar bait movie. I don't believe in Oscar bait, so that question doesn't work for me. I don't believe in Oscar bait. I believe that films are perceived as being one. I believe that films are made. So a person will come and pitch an idea for a story, right? And a studio will go, yeah, we'll make this because this is the kind of thing that awards are into. But I don't think the idea of them baiting, because you've obviously got, like, then they'll make the movie, they'll realize the audiences like it, they realize it will cater to what the Academy is interested in, and then release it so it's eligible for the Academy Awards. I think that Oscar baiting is a practice and not a way of making a film. So I think it's a marketing practice and not about making the film itself. So there you go. That's something I want to talk about at length coming up at some point anyway, is the idea of Oscar bait, because I fucking hate it. Just trying to catch up on. Do I miss having long hair? Kind of, sometimes. I'll do it again in like 5-6 years, but this is fine for now. Favorite Terrence Malick film is Knight of Cups. I haven't seen many of his. I've only seen his stuff since Tree of Life, but Knight of Cups was the first Malick film I watched. And so I feel like if I'd have seen Tree of Life, pardon me, but I've seen Tree of Life first and then watched Knight of Cups, I wouldn't have been as impressed by it. But Knight of Cups is the only film I've ever fallen asleep in and still given a 10. Don't ask me how that works. I think it was just, I was like, I can't believe a movie's this relaxing and transfixing, and yeah, I fell asleep and I was still like, that's one of the best movies I've ever seen. Or one of my favorite movies, best. Got to stop saying best. We got to stop saying best. Actually, here's the thing. If you want to get into less arguments about your film taste, when you post something on Twitter, don't say this is the best movie ever. Because if you post and say this is my favorite movie ever, people can't argue with that. Just a pro tip. People can't argue with a movie being your favorite. It's just a little tip for you. Have I seen Isn't It Romantic on Netflix? I didn't realize it was coming to Netflix. I thought I was going to see it in a cinema, so I won't watch it if it's on Netflix. But I was kind of hoping that I was going to get a screening because I wanted to actually check it out. But I won't go out of my way. Did I ever feel conflicted about pursuing filmmaking? No. No. I feel conflicted now in that I'm spending so much time. I've been on YouTube for nearly 5 years, and I still don't, it's not a big channel. I do this full time and it's barely financially supporting me. I struggled in the last year because I couldn't make videos. Now I've got my own room. I tell the other guys to shut the hell up and I film a video. I get it done super quick and it's sorted. So now I work all day. It's fantastic. And I can finally actually start making money. But no, my only conflict has ever been between YouTube and filmmaking, because I don't want to do YouTube forever. I think even once I do get into filmmaking, who knows when it is, but I will always keep at least one of the two channels. To give back to, if I ever made it as a filmmaker, I'd love to do what David Sandberg does and do behind the scenes videos on what I've been doing and do, content to help other filmmakers. That's what I'd love to do in the future. How critical are you on a scale of Jeremy Jahns to YMS? I'm assuming Jeremy Jahns is the least no, that should be on a scale of me to Mauler. Mauler being as critical as you can get, to the point of being, I hate him so much. But Mauler to me, I'm like the least critical film reviewer ever. You guys are going to see that this year. People getting mad. I've had people getting mad at me for not like hating movies enough. Fuck off. You know what I mean? There was a point. I have a video of Why I Love coming up. Some people might be aware of what it is. Some people might not. But there was a movie where I changed everything. It changed the way I saw everything. And I don't want to talk about what it is just yet because I want to save it for the video. But there was a movie that I hated for a long time that I came to understand differently, basically, and it changed the way I saw everything. So, yeah, I think that, yeah, it definitely changes the way that you see movies and made me less critical made me respect the art a lot more. I think a lot of critics don't respect, and I think that's a big thing. Favorite M. Night movie is Unbreakable. Trying to see. Do you have any filmmaking goals in mind for the next decade? Well, I'd love to have a feature within the next. By the time I'm 30, I'd love to have directed a feature. So I may or may not have a big web series coming up that's not being funded by me. It might be government funded. So we'll see how we go. But I'm going to start with that. I basically want to start doing short form anthology stuff so I can just get a handle on storytelling first, and then start to make it longer, start to do longer and longer projects. So that's it. Did I enjoy Glass? I haven't seen Glass. I don't think I want to. As you guys know, I'm not a big fan of Split. I still think Split is a standalone movie. It being connected to Unbreakable didn't make it suddenly a better movie. It was still just Split. And I like it. James McAvoy's great, but Unbreakable, I think I'm fine on its own. I don't need to see Glass. How do I go to getting in screening invites? It was because Jay works for a cinema chain in this country. Jay works for a cinema chain, and basically he is a manager, so he got invited to. They have, what do they call them? I feel like they're called showcase screenings, but that's not it. For every film, they screen it to the managers of a cinema well in advance, usually before critics will even see it. And Jay got to go to one of those. He met someone that worked for Disney. Then that person who worked for Disney got us onto someone that works from Universal, and that person from Universal got us onto, and that's how it works. So it's about who you know. I don't really know about how you go about contacting people if you don't already know people on the inside. Do you like seemingly pretentious movies like Synecdoche, New York? I haven't seen Synecdoche, New York. I haven't seen Synecdoche, New York. I also don't believe in pretentious movies. I don't believe there's pretense. I believe a director wanted to do something that they couldn't pull off, or that they didn't have enough control over. But I don't believe in being pretentious, because if anyone here has ever made a film, usually your high school films, you in your head are like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm making. Or, like your thesis films for college. Anyone who's ever made a film has had a film where they've gone, oh, yeah, it's this. And then you finish making the film and you're like, I had no fucking idea what I'm doing. It's not pretentious because the filmmaker believes in it. So I don't believe in pretense. I don't believe in pretense in film. People like to talk about Malik's stuff being pretentious. I think Malik just makes things and doesn't have a full control over them. But I don't think when you say pretentious, right? Again, another thing I want to do a video on. When you say pretentious comes from the word pretending. And no filmmaker, as far as I'm concerned, has ever pretended to do anything. So there you go. They all believe they're doing it. Do I think I'm going to move to LA? Yeah, well, I think Jay and I might move to Sydney in a couple of years after he finishes his acting degree. We might work out of Sydney for a bit because we know a lot of people in Australia. We have a lot of really good contacts. So we might try to work here first and then move over. I think a lot of people don't realize when you move to LA, it's really hard. I know people that have gone to LA for a period of time and just been crushed by it because it's so hard. You need to be secure. If you're in a less competitive market, secure that market first and then move on to the bigger industries. So there you go. Natalie Portman, I think the first film I saw Natalie Portman in might have been, I feel like there's other stuff now, but it's probably The Phantom Menace. So I feel like I'm a fan of her more recent stuff, particularly since Black Swan. Her best performance is in Jackie. But I'm just a huge Natalie Portman fan, guys. I love Natalie Portman. Do I watch The Crown? No. Olivia Colman being in season 3 and 4 might change that, but I have so many other shows I need to watch. I've got The Wire sitting back here. I haven't watched The Wire yet, so I need to check out The Wire. Jesus, water. Favorite Rooney Mara performance is probably in Carol. That's such a tender performance. It's so complicated. Obviously she's great in Girl with Dragon Tattoo, but in Carol, Rooney Mara, also Una. The movie Una, she's incredible in that. Most depressing episode of BoJack Horseman. Season 1, the procrastination episode. I think that was I think it's the second last episode. I've never connected with any. That was just it captured everything I feel about procrastination in a nutshell, and it just depressed me to no end. It was hilarious. It was one of the funniest episodes of TV I've ever seen. But my God, did that crush me. Shout out to if I start a Kickstarter for a film, you guys are awesome. Let me just try to catch up on a couple of questions I've already had, but I'll answer them anyway. I'm going to post this whole thing up after so you guys can watch it. Who are the actors that you feel are overlooked? So many. There's so many. Amy Adams is still overlooked. Have I seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine? No, but I need to watch it at some point because I keep seeing clips catch up, pop up that I'm like, I need to check this out at some point. I need a good new kind of, after I finish The Good Place, I'll need a new good kind of comedy. Halt and Catch Fire, I really want to watch. You've said just 4 seasons, like it's not much. For me to watch even 2 episodes of TV, that's like a week-long endeavor. So 4 seasons is a lot. Jim Jarmusch, I haven't seen much of yet. I've only seen Patterson, but I love that movie. What's a film that you've talked about on the channel that your opinion of has changed over time? So many. Especially because we used to review movies straight after seeing them, and now I wait a day because I need to know how that movie sits, what are the important parts that stay with me. So there's a lot of movies that I reviewed, and then the next day I was like, and I can't remember anything. Infinity War's one, because I probably still rank it about the same. I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10. I don't really rate movies anymore because I find it hard to quantify. Now I just give everything a 10, so that's why I stopped. But Infinity War, I've really grown to love, especially when doing a video on it on the Loverboy channel, talking about Infinity War. I really learned to there's so much in that film you just don't realize. And so that's the other thing that you learn to notice over time is we notice bold filmmakers. We notice our Cuarons and Inarritus and our Villeneuves because they're loud filmmakers. They're really stylistic. They really have a really loud way of communicating. But there's a lot of filmmakers like the Russo brothers that are much more subtle with stuff. And so you can't just watch their movies and see everything. You really have to watch them again and see how they construct scenes. So there's a lot there. Will Daniel Day-Lewis come back and when? Well, he keeps saying he's retired, but, he takes so much out of him. Yeah, High Top, can I get my family back? I'll finish watching Daredevil at some point. I want to watch season 3, but as I said, I've got shit internet right now, and I can't stop playing games. There's so much to catch up on, man. I love games so much, and I just want to catch up on games. So yes. What's my favorite footy team? I used to be right into the AFL, which is, for those who don't know, that's the Australian Football League, which is such a great sport because it combines everything. Australia was like, we better come up with our own. So they combined American football, soccer, rugby, everything. It's fantastic. Yeah, I got this sitting here. I do need to play it at some point, probably before I get back to Red Dead. But a favorite Australian football team is probably Fremantle Dockers is who I used to support because I'm from there. So, yeah, Rami Malek as the Bond villain is cool. I dig it. I kind of wanted it to. I wanted it to be. I really want Jessica Chastain as a Bond villain because you all already seem to hate her so much already. Yeah, get her to be a villain that we all hate. I'm gonna start wrapping up soon, guys. So, how much of your day is catching up on content versus making content? So, unless it's a YouTube channel that I really adore, or it's one of the guys that I talk to a lot have sent me a video to watch, and I'll really take the time to sit down and watch it. I only really watch YouTube while I'm cooking or eating. So yeah, most of my day is making content, and I'm just trying to get over my procrastination hurdle. I mean, the thing is like, so this Assassin's Creed video, these are just my notes from last night. I take so many notes and then I don't know what to do with them. So it's just a case of getting over that. Do I think the MCU have improved their cinematography and color grading? Not really. People were like, oh, Ragnarok's a big improvement. And I'm like, no, it's not. I've learned to love Ragnarok a lot more. Yeah, Jessica Chastain in Dark Phoenix is different though. I want her as a Bond villain. Fuck Dark Phoenix. So yeah, I was saying something and I forgot. MCU. So yeah, Ragnarok was just flat. I was like, yeah, it's colorful behind it. The cinematography, just because a frame is colorful, just because there's a lot going on. Cinematography, we don't seem to understand lighting enough. As a collective of people who watch film, we don't seem to understand the shaping of lighting, the sculpting of light. Yeah, so I don't think we understand that enough, how to use fog and texture and cutting of lines in the face and the MCU is not doing a lot of that. You know who is? DC's doing a lot of that. So I'll actually give DC credit. Aquaman didn't do it, but Wonder Woman and Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel have fantastic cinematography. VFX, not so much. Oh God, okay, just trying to keep up. I do need to watch Magnolia. Yes, I'm going to get onto it soon. What's the movie that you want to see again for the first time? Gravity or 2001? Gravity, as many of you guys know, I literally blacked out after watching Gravity. So yeah, Kubrick did light well. Hell yeah, man. Kubrick and everyone he ever worked with did light well. How much time do I spend on Twitter a day? Too much. I try to cut it down so that I don't use it. Twitter's instant validation. If I post on Twitter, it's because I'm trying to avoid doing something else. So be aware of that. I spend a lot of time on Twitter, but I'm always doing two things at once. What made you want to be a reviewer? Because I was bored by university. So I was like, I might as well just start doing YouTube videos. So that was it. Outside of YouTube, I really only make videos. Hey, Jaden. I really only do YouTube. I don't do a lot outside of YouTube. I really do spend all my time here. And it's a shame because I don't make as much content, but I really do spend a lot of time here. I've started going out a bit in the last year. That's the thing, guys. While you're young, do as much young stuff as you can. I try to see a lot of live music. Live music is fantastic. You get to be a primal self, so music's fantastic. Editing software, I use the Adobe Suite. Just got out of Eternity's Gate. Hey, Blake. Eternity's Gate, I want to try to review some point in the next 4 weeks. I'm going to catch up on a lot of movies. At Eternity's Gate is one of them because that movie was phenomenal. I loved it. Favorite Death Grips album is it No Love Deep Web? Or Deep? That one. That's my favorite one. Oh, no, I do have a job. I work at IKEA still on weekends. But I'm trying to do that less and less and do YouTube more and more. What else am I trying to catch up on? Would you like Jack Black to do a serious movie? He has done serious movies, but yeah, there's a lot of actors. That's something that I always wanted to do if I ever got a chance to really direct in Hollywood, was take actors who are not known for doing things and make them do that thing. I see so much untapped potential in comedic actors and in action stars. That's one, I've seen it pop up a couple of times about The Rock. I'd love to direct The Rock in a drama. I'd love to see what that guy could do. So yeah, I think I'd love to, The Rock is someone I'd love to direct in a drama. But there's a lot of people. I need to watch Thunder Road. Jim Cummings is an amazing guy. He's a great person on Twitter. He really is. That's what I want to be at. You know, he gives so much back to the film community. That's what you want to be when you make it in the industry. You really want to be connected with people. You know, Guillermo del Toro is like that. Ava DuVernay are filmmakers that really connect with the fans, and not just, you know, like, so the Russos maybe, they connect with the fans, but I don't see them really. Chris McQuarrie, if you guys are not following Chris McQuarrie on Twitter, the director of Mission Impossible Fallout, he just spends so much time answering people's questions and connecting with them. He's fantastic. The Rock as Mussolini, that's what we'll do. Death of Stalin 2.0, we'll do something like that. Think of Momoa in June. Guys, I think we need to be aware that the June cast, a lot of those people are going to be like in Blade Runner where they weren't in it for long, so just be aware of that. The new Sam Mendes movie, 1917, I'm so excited for that. Oh, okay, yes, that's interesting. In my previous Q&A stories, I said that I didn't drink, and based on your Instagram stories, I can see that's clearly changed. Yeah, I finally found a good group of people to hang out with. In high school, I, you know, I guess was in what you'd probably call the jock group, I guess. But I never really fit in. You know, I always hung out with everyone. I always connected more with the guys that wanted to sit and play Minecraft in the library. You know, so I think now that I'm out of high school, I've got a group of guys who like to go out, who like to drink, who like to party, but they're also film people. I make a lot of film stuff with them. So it's about, if you'll find a good group of friends eventually, guys. Like if right now you're like, I don't really know about the people I hang out with. As you get out of high school, you'll start to meet the people that you'll probably hang out with for most of your life. And I think that's important, as you find those people eventually. Dave Bautista is another person I'd love to work with. I think he had a great interview this week saying he used to be a wrestler and now he's an actor. He's not like The Rock, where he's, you know, both. He's a movie star. Bautista really just wants to be a good actor, and I respect that so much. Favorite movie line is I hate space from Gravity. No, it's probably something from the Dark Knight. That movie just or Birdman. No, oh, that was the other thing I want to do when I do my Birdman video, because I'm gonna do a Why I Love Birdman eventually. The scene in that where I've forgotten his name now, where Michael Keaton's character, I can't believe I'm blanking on my second favorite movie ever. Anyway, when Michael Keaton's character talks to the film critic, was what actually changed my understanding of film reviewing. Not understanding what goes into it, just a bunch of shitty opinions backed up by shitty labels or whatever. I love that quote, man. That was life-changing. Favorite long take or tracking shot is the one in Gravity where the pod is hooked up to the space station by the parachute and she's trying to undo it. That's my favorite shot ever. That shot is so good. So that's probably my favorite long take. My favorite for real long take is the one in True Detective. I'd say that. You know, my favorite part of that is where the cameraman trips, and it's just in there. Like, it really, that's what makes that long take in True Detective. There's a part where he's stepping over a door, and for whatever reason, he trips as he comes over, and you see the camera shift up and pop down. I love that, man. I love that, because that's that moment where I was like, this shot is the fucking real deal. Timothy Chalamet should have been nominated for the supporting actor category this year. Was trash. The best actor category as well was, or not trash. I mean, they all did great work. Sorry, that's the thing. You have knee-jerk reactions. You got to stop doing that. When people like ask your opinion, you're like, oh no, it's trash. No, it's a great category, but there's a lot of people that needed to be in there, and Timothy Chalamet was one of them. I'm going to go for about another 10 minutes or so. What do I think of Pain and Gain? Pain and Gain was a movie I used to hate because I was like, oh, it's just so stupid. It's going way too hard. And now I understand, like, the style is brilliant. Pain and Gain's a movie I've come around on. I've missed questions, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on. Thoughts on Pinocchio from 1940. It's phenomenal. That is a beautiful movie. You know, it's a great movie. Bambi. The original, go back and it's beautiful. It's one of the best looking animated films ever made. It's incredible. What is the aspect of filmmaking that people don't appreciate enough? Yeah, sound design. A lot of people don't pay enough attention to good, and that's why Bohemian Rhapsody won the Oscars for sound editing and sound mixing, is because people don't understand and appreciate both of those two things. People don't even know what they are. Sound editing is editing the sound effects and the audio tracks and the music, getting all that in there. Basically selecting it all and making the sound and all that. Sound mixing is how we balance it in the mix, how that you can hear all those individual sounds. So that is, yeah, that I wish people appreciated sound mixing more. Okay, so June is not going to win Oscars. It might win, Greg Fraser might win for best cinematography. Someone just said about, am I mad Deakins isn't doing it? No. Because Greg Fraser is one of the most exciting new people on the scene right now. I am not a big fan of Rogue One, but the cinematography in Rogue One, for the most part, there's a lot of stuff in there, the reshoot stuff, which doesn't look as good, but cinematography in Rogue One, the lighting, working on the Alexa 65, I think, looks incredible. Incredible. Elizabeth Debicki, I want to see more stuff. She's great in Man from U.N.C.L.E. She is great in Macbeth. She's fantastic in Widows. She should have been nominated for Widows. Yeah, it'd be in Paddington 3. It's not being directed by Paul King, but who do we want? We want to see Helen Mirren. We want to see Richard E. Grant, and we want to see Anthony Hopkins in Paddington 3. Filmmaker and movie that inspires me the most is Shame by Steve McQueen. That movie, I learned so much from that movie. Steve McQueen, honestly, Shame. It's a messed up movie about a sex addict, but that movie is the most influential movie I've watched. It changed everything about the way I make movies. Favorite Harry Potter book is The Half-Blood Prince. I haven't reread them yet. And back when I was younger, I was obviously much more interested in lore and backstory than I was in storytelling itself. So it might be a different book if I go back and read Harry Potter. But that's why I don't have much of an interest in, like, when I see an adaptation of, like, you know, a lot of people don't like Half-Blood Prince, but I think it's my second favorite of the Harry Potter movies. It cut out all the stuff that I loved about Voldemort's backstory, but it doesn't bother me because as a film, it's fantastic. A lot of that backstory that we say is essential isn't. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to catch up on. I'll do a couple more. Have you seen Fighting with My Family? Yeah, I just reviewed it. I loved it. It was fantastic. Roma or Green Book? Roma or Green Book, hey? Favorite PCA film is There Will Be Blood. One of the few movies like that, like a movie that I watched when I was about 13 and still thought it was phenomenal. Because most of the movies I watched back then, I was like, I don't really get why this is so popular. But that was one that, even for kind of a more art house cinema type thing, I really frothed that movie and still do. Can I do a video on my favorite movies of all time? I won't ever do that, except for if I do finally quit YouTube, you know, a couple of years down the track, whatever, who knows? I'd probably make my last video like my favorite movies of all time. But that's what Loverboy is for, is I go through my favorite movies list of my favorite games, my favorite albums, my favorite artists, favorite TV shows, and do videos on those, so you guys get how much I love them without having to rank them. Yeah, check out my letterbox. I've got a lot of movies on there. Would it be cool to have? Sorry guys, I'm just trying to catch up on. Oh, dude, Annihilation soundtrack and sound design. The fact that Annihilation had an acoustic soundtrack for the most part, like an acoustic guitar, just fucking blows my mind. Film utilized CGI in the best way. Obviously, again, that's going to be Gravity, Dunkirk, not Dunkirk. Interstellar's another one. Inception. I'm not familiar with that DP. Caesar Charlone, not familiar with them. Dreamcast for a film, just Amy Adams. Oh, that reminds me, someone asked about sharp objects before. Out of everything I experienced in 2018, from games to movies to music to the best entertainment thing I saw in 2018 was Sharp Objects, the TV show. Check it out. It's incredible. All right, guys, we're nearly going to start wrapping up. Cuarón, McQueen, Iñárritu, or Nolan. Cuarón probably is my favorite, but the one who, like, if I could only watch films from one of them again, it'd probably be Nolan. Controversy regarding Netflix and the Academy. Netflix is making people watch, I don't care if they hate, you know, Roma. It's making people that would have never watched Roma see Roma. So thank you, Netflix. Have I seen A Fantastic Woman? No, not yet. Favorite book turned into a movie? Gone Girl. Which upcoming, you guys are big Timmy fans. Guys, I'm going to say that now. I'm going to put it out here now. I don't know which one I'm going to do first, but I'm going to do videos on why I love videos on both Call Me By Your Name and Moonlight at some point. So I know people on this channel are big fans of both of those movies, so I'm going to do them both. I already have a Moonlight video part written, so I will do Moonlight. Fight Club or The Social Network. Social Network. I'm not going to review Sharp Objects, but I am going to do a why I love eventually. It's just a lot of work to do a TV show. Best theater experience, Gravity. Olivia Colman for Paddington 3, correct. Okay. George. Hey, Finn. Okay, will you ever review the cinematics and writing of video games? No, but I think that video game writing, the writing in RPG video games is the most underappreciated form of art on this planet. Can you imagine writing The Witcher 3? Imagine that script in front of you. Imagine writing that. What? Like what? World War Z with David Fincher, World War Z 2 with David Fincher got cancelled. Have I been to a Pride festival or parade? No, but I really should. I should go at some point. Obviously, you guys know I'm not gay, but I'm a huge supporter of that community. My way of supporting is through promoting queer cinema. Obviously, you guys know I'm a massive fan of that stuff. Favorite Amy Adams film is Arrival. Have I seen Mulholland Drive? Not yet. I do need to. It's one of those films where, again, I'm so excited to watch it. I almost won't watch it. I'll get to check it out. Am I on the left or the right? Is that a political question? I don't think that's how it works. I think there's mixes of stuff. Yeah, politics is something I kind of avoid talking about on the channel because there's I think, yeah, politics is a tricky thing because I think, there's there's too many questions in that one, too many things about that. But no, let's say, yeah, no, it depends because there's no for me there's no politicians where I'm I outright believe in everything you're doing. So there we go. What's carbonated water? Oh, I really need to go, but I'm gonna keep answering some more for a bit. Musical band and artist that deserves a feature film made about him. Man, I want to make a Kanye West biopic in the style of Steve Jobs so bad. Just pick a couple of backstage events from his life or something and do videos on a film based around those. I'd love to do a Kanye biopic. Fave Denis film is Arrival. God, I'm getting that question a lot. You guys are big fans of Denis, and I am here for it. Most anticipated film of 2019 that wasn't in my video might be The Lighthouse, I think. There's probably others that I can't think of. The problem is with doing a most anticipated list is that movies pop up halfway through the year that you didn't know about. The Souvenir is another one I'm really excited for. Have I seen many Indian movies? No, but I need to see more. There's that one, there's a two-part Indian film. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like The Gangs of something. That's one I really want to check out. So I need to check out more Indian cinema. Because currently I've only seen the meme stuff that's on YouTube from the Bollywood action films. And I love that stuff, man. I got so much appreciation for it. Amazing that a film that grossed $1 billion won Best Picture in 11. Oh, it's crazy. Crazy. What else have you got? What kind of toothpaste do you usually use? Expensive stuff. What else? All right. Midsummer, so excited for. I watched the Kanye Sunday Services thing. It was so good. I want to hear more of that in his next album. Kanye, someone asked about separating art and artists before, and Kanye is one of those people that I find it really tricky with. Because he's a fucking idiot, but he's so smart as well. I just find him fascinating. He's such an interesting person. I love The Shining. Oh, guys, I can't answer questions about my uni lecturers on here. Get out of here, Tanya. Do I think The Lion King will be the biggest box office film of the year? Just behind Avengers Endgame, which I'm so excited for because I don't know if you guys have realized, Avengers Endgame is halfway between a Marvel movie and The Leftovers. So that's fucking exciting. Hell yeah. Favorite black and white film? I'm forgetting a bunch of stuff, but maybe High and Low. High and Low might be my favorite black and white film. Gangs of Wasseypur, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but yes, that's the one I'm thinking of. Definitely want to check that one out. Have I written my first film? I have a 30 pages of a script that needs a reworking majorly. But that's what I wanted to be my first feature. It's a very understated movie. Where I had a lot of local actors I wanted to work with, but yeah, so I've done a bit of writing. I haven't done much writing recently. Cinematography in Logan and Deadpool. As I've said, I like the cinematography in Logan. I just wish it was almost like you got the Instagram fade filter and put it up because it's so glossy. I think that film could have done with a less digital look. Favorite Kubrick film was 2001. Big Little Lies or Sharp Objects? Sharp Objects. I don't think Dark Phoenix is going to be as bad as they're making it out to be. I don't know. That Shakespeare-inspired short film. Yeah, I should try to finish it and release it at some point, but it's still not even finished. I'd love to do an readapt The Road by Cormac McCarthy. That's one. Favorite Godfather? Godfather 1. All right, guys, I might jump out now because I think that this video is going to go up and you guys can watch through it and catch up on a bunch of stuff after. A lot of these questions I answered at the start. And I'm going to try to do these at least once a month. I feel bad because the camera's up here and I'm looking down here and I should be looking up here. I don't know why I need to read the... Yeah, anyway, I'm going to try to do these videos once a month. Now, to end this stream, I've got 71 people here. 71 people here. The Loverboy channel is so close to being monetized. It's about 70 10-minute views away from being monetized. So if all 70 people here go and check out literally any video on the channel, that would be amazing because I've done a couple of videos on there now that have made literally no money because I can't make money off them. So if you all want to go over and get that channel monetized for me, that would be awesome. But yeah, I want to start doing these regularly. I'm going to do basically one of these a month on both channels 2 weeks apart. So in 2 weeks time, I'll do one on Loverboy, and then in 2 weeks time, I'll come and do one here. The ones on Loverboy, I'm not going to leave up on the channel. I'm going to do them like High Top does, where I'm going to do the live stream and then I'm going to delete it afterwards. Just because I don't want, with the Loverboy channel, I'm very conscious of the quality of content I have up. So you know, a live stream is a bit more casual and chill. I don't want to leave those up there. So there'll be more. If you're available, you can do it. You can do it. So I'm going to as well not always do them at this time. I'll do them at, you know, like maybe 10 hours from now, the next time I do it, just so I can get more people to come in and hang out. But I'm cool to answer these questions. This was awesome, guys. Thank you so much for supporting this channel in the last year. I don't think I've said that enough, is thank you so much for supporting this channel in the last year, because I had such a hard time with Jay leaving, and we're basically, I'm trying to produce the same amount of content, but with just one person. So which Loverboy video do I recommend watching first? Probably the new one, which you can skip. A lot of people don't realize the new Loverboy video with the 5 scenes, I've put in time codes so you can skip movies that you haven't seen and go on to the next one. That's probably the best video I've done. But the Brockhampton one, the Brockhampton one, I'm still stunned that, you know, I really thought that video was going to do really well. But, you know, oh well. We'll get there eventually. I got to do more controversial stuff. I need to do videos on why I hate. If my channel was why I hate, I'd be at 1 million subscribers already. But YouTube doesn't really make room for the people who want to like stuff these days. So that's it. For the rest of today, I'm going to do a Beale Street review. There's going to be a Beale Street review up on Saturday. And next week, I've got Captain Marvel. And I'll probably review Blind Spotting next week, maybe, or Cold War. But I want to just work on the La La Land video. I want to get that shit done. I want to get that up. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. Of course, follow me on Twitter. I know not everyone has Twitter, but you guys are missing out on a lot. I'm really active on Twitter. I reply to a lot of your stuff and really get involved on Twitter. So if you want to know what I'm up to, yeah, get on Twitter, Loverboy Media, Instagram as well. Probably the Breaking Banter one. My personal one you can follow as well, but it's 90% my friends being drunk. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out, guys. I guess that is it for today. See you guys in the next video. Much love.